Hello and welcome to Daily Current Affairs by Ekam IAS. Today is 22nd September 2019 and the topics for discussion are Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trail, National Tiger Conservation Authority, Pradhanmantri Matra Vandana Yojana, All India Survey on Higher Education, Map Aided Program and Previous Year Question Revision Series. Alright, now coming to our first topic, which is the Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trail. Now this is in news because the assembly polls in Maharashtra and Haryana is to be held on October 21st of 2019. Now we'll talk about the VVPAT. Now the VVPAT or the Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trail is basically a method that provides feedback to the voters. Now this is an independent verification printing machine. It's a printing machine and it is independent. However, this is attached to the electronic voting machines within which the voters will be actually giving in their preferences for the candidates that they want to choose. Now this allows the voters to verify if their vote has actually gone to the intended candidate. You all will be knowing about this issue wherein there were many cases wherein the election, they were claiming, some candidates were claiming that the election has been tampered, and in the electronic voting machine, any candidate, whichever candidate that you are actually choosing, the vote finally goes to only one party. So such a claim was there in the previous elections, also in the few elections prior to all of this. So now to actually counter all that, that is how the Election Commission of India has decided to introduce the Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trial. Okay, now we'll be talking about how the VVPAT machines actually work. Now when a voter actually presses the button in the electronic voting machine, in the other section, in the printing section, a paper slip is actually printed through the VVPAT. Now this slip contains the poll symbol and the name of the candidate for whom the voter has actually pressed the button for. Now this allows the voter to actually verify his or her choice. So like that, if for example, if I want to press, if there are three candidates, candidate A, B and C, and if I have gone for candidate A and I press the candidate A's button in the electronic voting machine, simultaneously in the VVPAT machine, there will be a slip which is printed, and the slip will contain the name of the candidate and the poll symbol, the candidate's party symbol will be there. So those two information will be printed onto the slip, and this slip will be visible for the voter for 7 seconds. Okay. After 7 seconds, this slip is cut and dropped into the drop box of the VVPAT machine. After that, a sound or a beep will be heard, which actually shows the end of the election or the election for that voter in that polling booth. Now this is how the VVPAT actually works. Now this VVPAT machines can be accessed only by the polling officers. Now we'll come to the advantages of the VVPAT machines. Now this actually enables the voter to verify the vote. Now with this, because the printing of the slip happens instantaneously, the candidate can at the very moment of putting in the choice of the candidate, the voter can instantaneously verify that his vote has actually gone to the intended candidate. Now after that, this will also ensure greater transparency in the voting process. This can also resolve disputes. Now what happens is sometimes if there is any disputes wherein there is any candidate coming and claiming that there is some tampering that has taken place in any polling booth or in any district anywhere, the polling officers can immediately tally the number of votes that had come through the VVPAT machines. They can actually physically count how many slips for which all parties have been put into, and you can tally that with the electronic data in the electronic voting machine. Now the VVPAT actually, all of this actually operates under the direct recording election system, and this will actually detect fraud and existing malfunctions in the election system. Therefore, this also gives assurance to both the voters and the political parties. So this is all the advantages that we have for VVPAT. Coming to our next topic, which is the National Tiger Conservation Authority. Now this is in news because the National Tiger Conservation Authority, or the NTCA, has mandated that all the tiger range states is to take approval from it while putting down or tranquilizing any of the tigers or a big cat. So the main idea here is that because initially what happens is for tranquilizing. For example, if there is a man-eating tiger in any range or any tiger that is causing any problems, the state authorities can directly go in and tranquilize, or in extreme cases kill the big cat. In this case, from now on, NTCA has actually told all the tiger range states that before they take up such a decision, they have to take the approval of the NTCA. Okay, now we'll talk about the authority. Now the National Tiger Conservation Authority actually was established in 2005. This is a statutory body, understand, this is a statutory body under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Now this statutory body has been given the statutory status by the Wildlife Protection Amendment Act of 2006, and the 2000 Wildlife Protection Act, that is the amended form, has actually amended the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Now we'll talk about the members. Now the Environment Minister will be the chairman for the NTCA. Now below the chairman there will be 8 experts, so 8 professionals who have qualifications and experience in the wildlife conservation and welfare of the people, including tribals, because all these tigers and all these big cats are located in forest regions, and in the forest region there are also tribals. Now the tribals will actually take care, many of the tribals in India, they have a practice of actually revering these big cats. Actually they consider these big animals as gods in some cases, so they will actually help in protection of these animals. So the expert committee or the expert members in the NTCA actually will be taking care of these tribals also. Now in addition to that, there will be 3 members from the parliament, 1 from Rajya Sabha and 2 from Lok Sabha. So to give you a summary for all the members, the first one is the Environment Minister, who is the chairman. There will be 8 experts below the chairman, and in addition to that there will be 3 members from the parliament, 1 from the Rajya Sabha and other 1 from the Lok Sabha, other 2 from the Lok Sabha. Okay, now we'll come to the functions of the NTCA. Now the NTCA's function is to ensure normative standards in tiger reserve management. The next one is preparation of reserve specific tiger conservation plan. Following that, we have laying down of annual audit report before the parliament. They have to actually report back to the parliament saying that how much progress they have made with respect to conservation of tigers, not only the tigers but also the reserve wherein the tigers are kept. Then we have instituting state level steering committees under the chairmanship of the Chief Minister and establishment of Tiger Conservation Foundation. After that, we have the according approval for declaring new tiger reserves. For example, if any state wants to convert a wildlife sanctuary or a national park or any other region into a tiger reserve, it is the NTCA that actually comes inside, checks into the various parameters and conditions that that is present, and then the NTCA will finally give the approval to the state that such and such region can be declared as a tiger reserve. So once a region is being declared a tiger reserve, there are many restrictions also on it. There is a positive side to it, so that there is conservation of the environment, the forest, and obviously the tigers present in there, and also there are many do's and don'ts will be introduced, so that the state also will be taking care of that region with the help of the center, because the center also will be allocating some resources for the conservation of those regions. Coming to our next topic, which is the Pradhanmantri Vandana Yojana. Now this is in news because this Yojana has actually reached 1 crore beneficiaries. Alright, now we'll talk about this Yojana. This comes under the Ministry of Women and Child Development, and the main features of the scheme that this is a centrally sponsored flagship scheme of the government. Now this is for the pregnant and lactating mothers, pregnant women and lactating mothers. Now the Pradhan Mantri Vandana Yojana is actually a direct benefit transfer scheme under which cash benefits are provided to pregnant women in their bank accounts directly, and this cash is given directly to meet the enhanced nutritional needs for a pregnant woman, and in addition to that there is also a need for partially compensating the wage loss for the women which the women actually undergoes during pregnancy. Pregnant women cannot work that well, they need a lot of bed rest and they need a lot of rest for the healthy development of the baby. So once they can't work, they are actually in many of the cases, these women actually lose their job, they lose their salary. So with this, there is a partial compensation, not full compensation, a partial compensation is given for the women under this scheme. Okay. Now the benefits under the scheme is that the pregnant women and lactating mothers will be receiving a cash benefit of rupees 5,000 in 3 installments. Now the eligible beneficiaries will also receive a cash incentive under Janani Suraksha Yojana. Therefore, on average, a woman will get rupees 6,000 under these schemes. Now the objective of the scheme, as I told you, is to provide partial compensation for wage loss in terms of cash incentives so that the women can take adequate rest before and after delivery of the first living child. Understand, this scheme is for the first living child. It is not applicable for the second or the third child or any other child after the first one. Now the cash incentives provided would lead to improved health seeking behavior also, and this will be spreading across all the pregnant women and lactating mothers. Now we're coming to the eligibility, which all women are actually eligible to be part under this scheme. Now the maternity benefits are available to all pregnant women and lactating mothers, except, there is a condition here, except for those under regular employment under the central government or the state government or any other public sector undertaking, or those who are having a job in any similar benefited area under any law at that time. Basically speaking, any central government employee, state government employee, or any public sector undertaking employee, or any other area which has a similar recipients or similar salaries under any of these three will also not be able to join this scheme. Now all eligible pregnant women and lactating mothers who have their pregnancy on or after 1st January of 2017 for the first child in the family will be eligible for the scheme. Now a beneficiary is eligible to receive the benefits under the scheme only once, that is for the first living child. Okay, now Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Dadra Nagar Haveli and Rajasthan are the top 5 states and union territories in the country that has implemented the Pradhanmantri Matra Vandana Yojana. Odisha and Telangana are yet to start the implementation of this scheme. Coming to the next topic, which is the All India Survey on Higher Education. Okay, now this is a news because the Union Human Resource Minister has released the All India Survey on Higher Education report of 2018 and 19. Now basically under this report, you understand a few key things. There's a betterment in gross enrollment ratio. There's an improvement in that. So the gross enrollment ratio in higher education has actually increased, from 25.8% to 26.3%, and this was from 2017-18 to 18-19. So in 1 year there is an improvement to 26.3%. Now in absolute terms, in terms of numbers, initially it was 3.66 crores. Now it has become 3.74 crores. Now the gross enrollment ratios for scheduled caste has also shown a growth. Now it was from 21.8% and it has grown to 23%. And similarly for the SC/STs, there is also a growth from 15.9% to 17.2%. Now in terms of increase in the number of universities, there is a growth from 903 to 993 universities. That means 90 universities has been incorporated or included. Okay, now the total higher education institutions has increased from 49,964 to 51,649 in the same period, that is from 2017-18 to 18-19. Now the number of faculty in each of these institutions naturally also will increase. Initially it was 13.88 lakhs, now it has become 14.16 lakhs. Now the general trend actually indicates that there is the narrowing of the gender gap. Now there is a improvement in the female enrollment ratio that was from 47.6% in 2017-18 to 48.6% in 2018-19. So overall there is a betterment in the total enrollment ratio, number of universities and higher education institutes that has been set up, the number of students and faculties that is actually taking place, enrolling themselves into the higher education institution, and there is narrowing of the gender gap. That means more and more female students are actually also joining these education institutions. Okay, now coming back to the topic. Now basically the All India Survey on Higher Education, we'll talk about that. Now to portray the status of the higher education in the country, the Ministry of Human Resource Development has actually endeavored to conduct an annual web-based All India survey on higher education. Now, this was from 2010 to 2011. Now, this survey covers all the institutions in the country engaged in higher education. Now, the data is being collected on several parameters. Now, that will include teachers, student enrollment programs, examination results, education finance, infrastructure, etc. Now, the indicators of educational development such as the institution density, gross enrollment ratio, pupil teacher student ratio, gender parity index, per student expenditure, all of these also will be calculated from the data collected from the All India Survey on Higher Education. Okay, now coming to the next area, which is the map aided program. Today we will be talking about the Simlipal Tiger Reserve. Now, Simlipal Tiger Reserve is located in Orissa, and you also know that Simlipal is actually a national park also. So we'll talk about this. Now, Simlipal actually derives its name from Simul, and now Simul stands for silk cotton. Now, this is actually a tree. Now, this Simlipal is actually a national park and is also a tiger reserve and is located in the northern region of the Mayurbhanj district in Orissa. Now, this park is surrounded by high plateaus and hills, and the highest peak is the twin peak of Khariburu and Meghashini. Now, they are at a height of 1515 meters above mean sea level. At least 12 rivers cut across the plain area. All of them actually drain into the Bay of Bengal. You can understand that because Orissa is planing towards the other side, and most of the rivers will be going into the Bay of Bengal only. Now, the few prominent rivers under these 12 are the Dio River, Sal Nadi River, Kalahari River, etc. So, there are many rivers in this region. 12 of them are the prominent one. There are numerous other streams also. So, few of them you can see in the slide given here. Alright, coming to our next area, which is the previous year question revision series. I'll read out the question. So, the question is, consider the following pairs. Now, there are two columns, the first one being the movement and or organization, and the other one we have the leaders. Okay, so the first one is that the All India Anti-Untouchability League, and that is matched to Mahatma Gandhi. The second one is All India Kisan Sabha, that has been matched to Swami Sahajanand Saraswati. And finally, we have the self-respect movement with E.V. Ramaswamy Nayakar. Now, they are asking which all of the matchings is actually correct, and in this case, all of the above is actually correct. So, the answer for this question is option D, 1, 2, 3. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you have any doubts or queries, you can write down in the comment section below. Thank you.